has there been some NXT lately? Has there also been a holiday? Has there also been an increasing amount of schedule conflicts? We'll talk about all of the NXT that we haven't been able to talk to you about and more right now on the NXT After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV Wrestling and Sports.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Let's all just relax for a minute. Take a listen to some. It's almost as if there's. Wait a minute. This sounds familiar. Was this State Line's entrance music?
Might have been.
Might have been.
I think it is now.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, definitely.
We should contact
Let's make
Brandon.
it happen.
Yeah,
let's make it happen.
Though, no, CFOs will make a version of this.
For cheaper.
For much cheaper. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm one of your hosts, the internet's Mark B. Donica, joined as always by the one, the only, Mr. Robert Baines, also known as the Hobo.
Yep, been around, been getting around.
Speaking of somebody who's been getting around, Bill Handstock.
Yeah.
Been getting around, getting sick.
Yeah.
Now, I've been coughing. I have to cough drop. But he is one of several people that has been catching the bug that's been going around. Not necessarily the bug that, like, Kairi Sane has caught.
Well, she got the hand, foot, and the mouth.
Yeah.
That's not a wrestling euphemism. That's a literal illness. Hand, foot, and mouth.
Well, because
causes blisters on your hand, your feet, and your mouth. Incredibly painful.
And it's pretty contagious, too.
Extremely contagious. Yeah.
But no, really, she has that.
Right.
So we're going to do our best. We're going to turbo through some of the stuff that we missed. Last week was a holiday weekend, and now you would think 3 people that were at the show could have figured out a time to come in and pre-shoot because we saw everything live. But what you don't know is we forgot. So aside from that,
we didn't forget.
No, but you were at the show.
I was backstage with WWE for 4 consecutive days.
No, I went for the joke. Of
course, but it completely monkeyed with my schedule. There's no way I could have gone in, and I wasn't sure what my schedule was going to be, and then I finally got the confirmation I was going to be there Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Yep.
All 4 days at the Staples Center. Great experience for me, but it really limits your ability to do anything else because you're there for.
No, you're on call.
Absolutely, you're there and you have to be completely present. And there's really nothing outside of that you could possibly do, even if the show wraps at a certain time.
Yeah.
By the time you actually get out the doors, you're exhausted. It was a hard day of work.
I'm gonna touch on that in a second. Really quickly, technical note, Steve, could you bring the chat up? Because that's what I have up on my phone that's causing the bit of distress. So thank you very much. So that's sort of the earliest place that we can start is NXT Takeover, Los Angeles, War Games 2, and you were so here's the thing. If you didn't get that call, I wouldn't have taken your ticket to be able to go.
Right.
And I had there's no not weird way to say that you know exactly what I'm trying to say. I had a wonderful evening with your wife.
Yeah.
There's no other way to say it.
I have this strange relationship with a lot of guys in my life who, if I'm out of town, I tell them, take my wife out. Take her on a date for me, please. Just get her out of the house. Get her away from things.
Well, because Emily is an amazing person to watch wrestling with. She really is, because she's learned so much by performing, because she does have a bit of a theater background, but also she's
got several degrees in theater.
Yeah. So
she, on stage and backstage, she's incredibly comfortable.
But that on top of what she's learned in being around the business, it's. And also, so we I mean, some people could consider us snobs in a way, shape, or form, but there's a certain level of fandom that I feel that we've attained through a lot of the ways that we've worked in and around the wrestling industry, which I guess is the easiest way to put that.
Yeah.
But to be sitting in the huddled masses and a lot of big words that Bob Backlund used to use, was very very, very difficult. But the show was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I would say, hands down, everybody who was in attendance enjoyed it thoroughly. What were the attendance numbers like?
I don't know. It looked pretty full.
Okay.
Pretty full. And it may have just been because, oh God, we had people that were sitting around us that showed up a couple matches in, which I think is, if you are a fan,
it's a very LA thing to do, in my opinion, because you go to a baseball game, you're sitting there, maybe by the third inning, the seats are finally full. Everybody's finally there.
I'll take that. I understand that, but it was sort of it was just such a weird crowd. And LA is a weird crowd, but NXT you expect a different level of fan, and they were there. NXT, or rather, WWE shows have evolved from everybody wearing NXT stuff to everybody wearing Japan stuff. But I will say there was a lot of people wearing local, because I saw a whole bunch of SCU stuff, which
is local technically. Yeah, sure.
Local by way of Ring of Honor, but
even Ring of Honor doesn't come out as far west as Ring of Honor comes to Las Vegas. If they got their SCU stuff, they either ordered it online or came in person to a New Japan show.
But that's what in SCU, just being Southern California talent.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting way. Sam Paboon has a very interesting question, but hey, why Seth Rollins kicked the Hob but on Raw 2 weeks ago in Los Angeles? I'm busting your chops, Sam. I know English isn't your first language.
It was a tactical error on my part.
You looked right at him.
No. The looking at him wasn't the tactical error.
I don't know.
That's not the error. I had a box behind me. So he had apparently a better scope of things than I did, and he didn't hit me. He pushed me. Unfortunately, he didn't even have to push me. I hit the box, rolled over on the other side of it, and just landed on flat concrete.
Did you get cornered by the did you hit the corner?
No, it caught me just in the hamstring. So luckily it didn't catch me in the lower back. But I came out of the other side of it, and it was just straight concrete on the other side.
Woof.
He punched the other man.
Yeah, no.
Was working security with me. But yeah, you don't come into Los Angeles with running your big fat mouth and expect nobody to do nothing about it.
Fat mouth.
This is our damn town.
Seth Rollins, you got a big fat mouth.
Right. We don't take to, Easterners too kindly around here.
No Indiana folks?
No.
I suppose not.
They made the Klan, They did. You remember that. Indiana, home of the Klan. That's history.
We're back, everybody.
That's facts. Tell Seth Rollins that. Yeah. What are you going to do, huh? You going to do about the Klan, Seth Rollins? You going to fight the Klan? You going to burn it down? You know, burn it down.
Well, I mean, they're pretty well versed with fire, but it's what the hell, man. Anyway, I
got problems.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that. I've known that for years, but that's why we work so well together. So, talking about war games, was there a moment that stood out to you?
In the entirety of the show?
In the entirety of the show, just because we're covering 3 shows tonight.
If you're doing the biggest moment of the show, it was the double moonsault. It was. It had to be. Everybody was waiting for it. I think everybody in the audience knew it was going to happen. Ricochet had to have his moment. Nobody was certain what exactly it was going to be, but they knew it was going to be something.
Yeah.
It turned out to be the double moonsault.
Yeah. For me, I don't know, dude. I love that moment. Watching that moment in arena was difficult because not only with the stacked rings, well, especially from our point of view, we were facing the stage, so that the I guess TV left ring was difficult to see because it was already obscured by the first ring, and then the cage on top of that further obscured it. So it made it a little bit difficult to follow war games.
I don't know, when I'm looking at it, and I was up close to the cage earlier in the day, I'm going, why is it silver? It seems like it should be black. It should be a black cage.
No.
I think it would be easier to see through if it were a black cage.
White or silver.
Silver bounces the light back. So if it's black, it'll absorb the light and it won't cause reflection. I don't know.
But you know how we have when people wear black gear, it gets absorbed into the ring. So imagine an entire cage. You also miss some big visual cues if you can't see the cage, or if the cage is a little bit more obscure, it's harder to see the cool things that you get from it.
Right.
So I think they sacrificed one thing for another.
Yeah.
Sharkosaur in chat says that Io's moonsault was also pretty great. Yeah.
It was, at the time, it seemed a little, just, you don't come out for a moment in a street fight and go, moonsault! Like, that seems a little like, just punch somebody in the face.
However,
you don't have to go up top for a moonsault.
Just the amazing, the confidence that she had in going up and going, you know what? I'm not going to check if anybody's behind me. I'm just going to hit whoever's in my way.
Balls!
Yeah, the balls on Io Shirai. But I think that Johnny and Alistair was an amazing match.
Yeah.
I mean, Alistair and Dream had two of the best matches of the night. I mean, every match was amazing, even the Riddle and KO one.
Yeah.
It did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
It may have only taken a second, but Ono was rocked by a single knee for about 5 minutes.
It says a lot about Matt Riddle.
It says a lot about Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
But the match between Johnny and Alistair was, if that's what we turned Johnny Gray for, then it was worth it.
It was pretty hot.
Mm-hmm. But just so that he could work a heel in that match, I thought it was great. It was absolutely phenomenal. Make sure if you want to hear more, I talked a little bit more with a friend of the show, Sean Waldman on Xpac12360. Go check out youtube.com/Xpac. He was backstage all weekend, and he was in, I think he said he was in Gorilla for every match at Takeover, except for the moment where he was out being featured with Lula.
Right.
And then Lula took over the damn world.
Yeah, she does amazing. That. Everybody loves Lou.
Kyle Franklin says Matt Riddle scares me because he wrestles barefoot with no pads.
Yeah, I feel a lot of concern for that as well. But that's his life. I know Rusev wrestled barefoot until he broke his foot.
Yeah.
A moment like that will change you.
Now he will wrestle in the flip flops next.
Right.
You know what it's going to be? Crocs.
Yeah, sure.
Ah, damn it. Sharkosaur asked something along the lines of, do you think there were too many false finishes in Johnny and Alistair and Dream and Ciampa? Do you think that it affected the flow, or was it the right amount?
I think it was fine. Everything being what it is, I don't necessarily see a problem. It only becomes a problem if you feel the audience get tired, like actually, literally, physically tired. And I don't think that was necessarily the case for either of those matches.
I agree.
At least from my vantage point, because you don't, where you are located in the Staples Center watching the show, you don't get a lot of crowd noise. It's pretty well insulated.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell what the audience is thinking. All I can really focus on from my vantage point is execution, because we're surrounded by monitors, so we can watch the show as it's being aired.
That's just
more or less.
That's my dream place to watch a show. It's because you get the crowd live, but you don't have to deal with them.
We love you all.
Listen, I would love to have a big NXT meetup. If we could get every single one of our listeners, for goodness sake, and if we could have a huge meetup and go to a Full Sail taping, I think I would love it.
That'd be cool.
That would be absolutely amazing if we could get all of the people that listen to the show and go to an NXT show. I would love that. But the guys, and I specifically the guys that I was sitting around, just not great. Oh God, the one that sat right next to me would randomly shout "War!" and much louder than that, right next to me, anytime one of War Raiders did something.
It's hard. I think we We've been working in professional and around professional wrestling for so long. We just look at it differently. We react to it differently. Or we don't react, which is different.
Yes.
So when others do, if it's sort of messing with our attention span, then it's just an irritant.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But and that's the thing, is I know that I remember, I think it was the SummerSlam where Cena just kept got murdered by Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And we were
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, yeah. We were just watching, and it was one of my favorite. I think, but it might have also been SummerSlam New York, like the first Brooklyn Takeover that year too, where we were just watching.
Yeah.
And reacting sometimes, standing for people coming out, this, that, the other thing.
Right.
And it's one of my favorite things. If I had a block of people that were all just sort of watching and going, sort of mumbling, like if you're an anime fan, sort of like how Deku from My Hero Academia just watches heroes work and it's like, but if he does that, then that power is good. And watching, as opposed to there's a Vine that I'll show you that perfectly describes the guys that I was sitting next to, but it'll be different.
But it's, again, if everyone in the crowd is like us, it would just be silent.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I if I could, I would love to remove myself from the crowd, but still be around everything, and because that atmosphere is something different. You know, WrestleMania 31, we got a chance to see the live NXT show before Takeovers even existed, and my wife still talks about that. It's still where,
and it was where the tonight's episode of NXT was taped.
Yeah, and there are moments where if we're watching, if she comes home from work and I'm watching NXT, she's like, okay, because there's still that memory of that was a really really cool show. What is it now?
This is familiar to me.
Yeah, but it also, I can understand that this is good, and I think I can tune into any of it and probably enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah.
And understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep talking about some of our favorite stuff from the subsequent live show in Los Angeles that took place after Takeover. But first, we want to let you know, AfterBuzzers, that our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows and some podcasts. From dramas, reality, TV, sci-fi, and more, there is no network that works harder to serve television fans, or wrestling fans for that matter. But we need your help. We ask that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to this channel, YouTube will suggest content that is tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't, because they're optional. But if you click it, then it'll help you see when we go live. But hit that subscribe button now for AfterBuzz TV Wrestling and Sports, and check out all of our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. But for now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk. I went back, and I know we weren't live last week, but I went a couple weeks back, and there were some comments, but it was just sort of like corrections and nothing substantive. We appreciate the fact that you do comment, but the show grows and continues to grow, and we don't do it without your help. So we would appreciate any sort of comments and concerns, whether it be on iTunes or on YouTube. And you can check us out on iTunes as well. Was there anything in the chat that I missed, or is it just a whole bunch of Sharkosaur being silly?
Just, no, it's Sharksaur making a good point that San Jose show that we saw was really pivotal. And it saw the first Itami go to sleep.
I think they put that match or that show on one of the like collections. If I remember correctly.
You might be right.
Because we know they had hard cam and
yeah,
that footage exists and they've shown it before. So
right. Or maybe they showed pieces of it, perhaps. But yeah, no, we've seen part of it.
Yeah. I know that we know the tape exists, and I'm pretty sure that they really. I think remember when we released like the best of, or we got a best of DVD and we gave it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was on one of those DVDs,
okay. Right.
Along with Neville and Cesaro. That was never shown on TV or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So then the following week of NXT TV, which was taped before Takeover War Games, was interesting in the sense of two really short matches to just sort of show off how powerful Lars and Keith are, but
it was a setup to tonight's main event matchup.
But we got an an LA staple who's appeared on 205 Live. I think wasn't he on SmackDown once?
Yes.
And
he teamed with Peter Avalon on SmackDown.
Down in San Diego against The Bar, I think.
No, it was against the brothers.
Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
I saw Bald and suddenly went Cesaro for some reason instead of Eric Rowan.
Bald, beard, it's just the length of the beard that changes.
And the redness.
Yeah.
God, the redness. But we got Fidel Bravo in a match against Keith Lee. And the cool thing about it was anytime you get local talent on WWE TV, it's always like, cool, it's good to see him. But he got a Tron, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, it was. We all very much enjoyed that backstage, and I congratulated him after the fact.
That might have been the loudest that Emily and I were all night. It's just like, whoa!
Yeah.
Wow! so that was really cool. Is there anything particularly about the show, Candice and Nikki Cross, that you wanted to talk about?
Candice and Nikki was really good. It was probably Nikki Cross's last match in NXT.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Because we got tapings tonight, and we know that she showed up with Sanity at. Was she in the TLC match last night? The TLC qualifier?
I don't know.
I don't think
if
so
she
either.
Was there, but I know she was there all week into Tuesday with her crew.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's SmackDown. I think she's permanently SmackDown. I think she just had to close out a few open accounts.
But we did. Like when.
But she did. Amazingly enough, she didn't go out on her back.
No, I like using Candice in LA made sense. However, getting match 3 in the Bianca Belair and Nikki Cross.
That would have been it. That would have been. But I guess it gives us something to look forward to on the main roster.
I mean,
one unchecked box, somewhere down the line, they're going to have a matchup again, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, I would. You know what? Yeah, I would put Bianca in on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's more of a SmackDown than a Raw.
Yeah, I do too. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that was Nikki Cross's last match, that means Bianca Belair and Nikki Cross will meet up again somewhere down the line.
And Candice showing a little bit more fury than we're used to.
I liked the fact that she wasn't even Dark Candice. She came out in what I would call her Candy Girl gear.
Well, especially because apparently her ring gear was designed by her niece.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to turn this into ring gear someday. And she did. And she brought it back to LA. And there was a small spattering of a Joey Ryan chant, which was like, oh, okay, that's cute.
Longtime partners.
Yeah. Cute. But ultimately, just showing a little bit more fierceness in that match.
Yeah, it took a turn at one point in particular, and I think she was just tired of it. I think she just was like, you know what? F all this and F you in particular, Nikki Cross, and it just didn't pay off for her in the end.
No, and I wish that it's something similar to what Johnny's going through,
right?
But I'm still like, you gotta keep them separated, but they're not gonna do it, just because they're both going through a similar thing of here's this chaotic presence. And I'm going to go a little bit farther to try to get the win. It didn't work out. I'm already here, so...
Yeah, I would like those two to go in opposite directions. I think the friction makes for good television.
Also, all of the imagery surrounding Candice with, like, the bright colors and the candy and, like, the this and that doesn't match, you know?
Right. So it's going to have to be a rebranding at some point.
But like they've re-released, so she has a new entrance theme, which is sad because I like the one that she had earlier. It's whatever, it's music. But all of the imagery surrounding that is this updated look, and if if her hair's transformation that we saw tonight, where it's starting black and going blonde, is any indicator, weird. It's on its way. It's on the up and up. Maybe they're just extensions. Like it probably wasn't.
Maybe, I don't know.
So yeah, it wasn't. It was a good match, and it was a great showing by both. I was really stoked when Nikki came out because we're gonna get her and Bianca again. I was like, okay, all right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is okay. Also good. Yes, great. But that was another thing to have. I think the TV tapings I liked better because there were less people around us. But yeah, an amazing week in Los Angeles, and I really, really hope that it's not too long before they come back. Do you think? They like to have.
Actually, WWE will be back December. They got I think it's Raw in San Diego.
But they're not coming up here.
No.
Yeah. So, but I mean, in terms of the next big wrestling weekend, that's what I mean.
Right.
Where we get a big pay-per-view and NXT.
I don't know. It was really interesting to see them do what I can only describe as a short-term residency at the Staples Center. Mm-hmm. In my memory serves, they've never done anything like that before.
Well, I mean, aside from Manias.
Right.
Well, I think Royal Rumble this year in Phoenix, they're doing an Access.
Really?
Yeah, they're doing Royal Rumble Access. And so it's going to be Access, which I can't imagine to be the full weekend. It's got to be like 2-3 days. As opposed to, but we don't know.
The tickets will tell.
Yeah.
Because they've had to sell tickets that are
and that's also
appropriately timed and dated.
Also not that bad of a drive if you catch my drift. But,
no, it's not.
Access, there's a Takeover, there's Royal Rumble, and I think they're going in to a couple of different places in the area. I don't think they're...
Yeah, I think that's true.
But nothing like this. But
no.
The Staples Center loves WWE. Los Angeles loves WWE. It's always really hard to get tickets because every celebrity is like, nah, I won't do that PWG stuff or that. But I've seen Lucha Vavoom once or twice, but this is the real deal. So It's chock full of people, and a chock full of people going, hey, can I have tickets?
Right, absolutely. There were so many VIPs backstage that they're huge fans of the company, huge fans of the product.
Or just have friends there.
Right.
Maybe not necessarily, I watch WWE every week, but, I've hung out with Seth Rollins. He's a cool dude.
Exactly. So you just don't know who's going to come by. It's a who's who. I mean, it's L.A. Mm-hmm. So it's just celebrity central. I think that's why WWE likes being there. It helps kind of elevate their brand to show who likes them.
And a huge social media presence because everybody's on Instagram, everybody's taking pictures, and it's just always trending across, not tout, but multiple social media networks across the entire internet. So let's talk a little bit about tonight's show. I think it was a solid show. I think it was a little weird because that they were traveling, because they were in San Jose. The setup felt weird. The lights weren't as... I tweeted it out. Lars Sullivan looked rather nude on his entrance because he was lit in a way that made him look like...
Sullivan!
Yeah, no thank you. Not a fan of that. But we got an awesome tag team match to start the show. Oni and Tui, Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, Wrestle Dads versus the Mighty. This was a great hard-hitting match, and there was a lot of hype because it seemed like, this is a regular TV match, and then it was like, false. Oh, falsy. Oh, falsy. Oh, big Doomsday Device. Oh, okay. And it just kept elevating and elevating.
It escalated where you thought it was going to. It's like, we're only going to get maybe to here. And it just kept growing. And you're going, this is getting really out of control. Even the end, they go for the, what do they call it?
Thunder Valley.
Thunder Valley. And then throw... was it Oni back at Burch and they smash into each other and they pick him up again?
Damn it! And that just pissed him off.
Oh man!
It's like, I'm gonna get you.
I don't know how Oni transitioned from the Thunder Valley into the Sunset Flip.
Sleight of hand.
I'm not sure. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I think I know how he twisted, but it had to be so fast because it was he's down 1, 2, 3. Oh, damn!
Yes, flash victory, almost like Shayna's flash victory at Takeover, where everybody in the arena was like, what? Wait a minute, what happened? So, this match illustrated I'd say the difference between the Mighty, a level that the Mighty hasn't been able to return to since the injury put them on the shelf.
Yeah.
And reminded us that Oni and Danny, oh yeah, these are contenders for the tag team titles.
Right.
Like that's why they were out with an injury. Why Oni was out with an injury.
I think the Mighty actually looked really good tonight.
They did.
Physically. They put on a little bit of weight, and I think it helps them kind of stand out. They look like their style. They look like they're just gonna smash you, and they do.
The switch to pants was good compared. Like they used to just wear trunks.
Yeah.
But the switch to pants made them seem a little bit beefier, just because it's a large package and a small one.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep. Tighten the meat. But it was, I don't know. I'm so
tighten the meat.
I'm so tired. Like I know it's really early, but I've been going for like 14 hours. But it was I really TM61 is actually Will-O-Wisp that we found.
Yes, it's Will-O-Wisp. It's also the international dial. When you're dialing Australia 61, you have to dial 61.
So when you dial out of Australia,
We're dialing into Australia.
Oh,
Australian, it's America is 1. It's with Australia it's 61 and the phone number.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's their version of 619, and it's their version of like tagging an area code of we represent all of Australia.
It's
Who's
the
this Buddy
area
Murphy
code
bloke?
of this singular island continent.
This one, this little island.
Little island,
This little island.
little
Not much in the middle, but a lot on the coast.
like a donut.
Ooh, sweet donut.
Hot donut.
Sharksaur says more Australians should consider switching to
He
pants.
has pants, but some angry dog just
Seriously.
got to him and just tore him up.
Yeah, he's got bad luck. But this is a fun match. I'm excited to see more from Oni and Tui, and I don't think that it's also really
They got
hard.
the win, but then they got a post-match ass-kicking. And
Kind of, but
Oni was not having it there for a second. He was leveling both of them with just open-hand palm strikes that you could hear. Oh, just so gnarly.
at the same time, though, I don't. It made the Mighty look like jerks.
I would like to see another match between these two teams.
Oh, sure. I mean, the Mighty showed that they can play against the current Evolved Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits. But
Sorry.
what the hell was that?
That was a lot of things.
Yeah, that was a lot of things. So I think the Mighty delivers. Don't get me wrong, but as we've been seeing the evolution of the NXT Tag Team division, they were there when they were up against the Authors of Pain.
Yeah.
But
They
generation
took it to the Authors of Pain. They really did.
The generation following them, though, brought it even further and elevated the entire division. And even some other teams that are up and coming, even the Forgotten Sons, they have a former tag champ among them.
True.
So that automatically raises their stock, no matter if you remember them or not.
No, it's true. It
So,
is true.
but I agree. I would like to see a match between these two again. We get a thing in the back with Kairi and her new friend group, her new trio, the new dang it, I forgot the name of the Lucha Underground group, but the Black Lotus Triad.
Yeah, sure.
Because it was Kairi, Io, and one other person that I forget.
Yeah, it's either that or that's a fragrance at Bed Bath & Beyond.
It's probably the second thing. And
or Bath and Body Works. I'm sorry.
There you go. But
Don't want to get fact checked on that one.
Kairi said, "I'm not finished with you yet." Regarding Shayna, and they won all three, so we might see a 3-on-3 women's match.
Okay.
EC3 versus Marcel Barthel. That's a mouthful. A dangerous German man. That's how he was presented, with the German flag and like barbed wire font. Dangerous, but he looks like German Conan O'Brien. But he brought it. Yeah. He really did. He brought it to the returning EC3, and this was hard hitting and dangerous in a couple of places.
Yeah, it looked like a real fight, I would say, in a couple of moments. Guys throwing things that looked like they were going off half-cocked just because they had to get control of the match, of the situation, and sometimes that happens where you've just got to react. You've got to take somebody down while you still have the opportunity before they get the better of you. But I would say this is the best Marcel's looked.
I mean, out of the 2-3 matches that we've seen,
right? And it hasn't been extensive.
No, it was him.
His
Keith
debut
Lee.
was Keith Lee.
Yeah.
And against Keith Lee, you can't do a whole lot. But against EC3, I think he did pretty well. He's starting to show a little bit more of a unique offense from a guy who arguably is not very unique in appearance. He's very sort of...
He's got to differentiate himself somehow.
Right. He's very generic in appearance, I would say.
I would say like a heavyweight Jack Gallagher.
Right. Yeah. Like just a big kind of just a guy. Just a big guy.
But speaking of big guys from that area, hey, Walter probably signed with NXT UK.
Yeah, it's interesting
because he didn't want to move to the United States.
I don't blame him for that.
There's a rumor that one of the next PCs opening up would be in Germany, or that the next NXT brand would be in Germany, and they would be partnered with WXW.
Right. Yes.
Which could mean our friend Chris Wolf gets featured because she wrestles a lot for them.
Right.
Or
Tristan Archer.
Could
make a comeback.
But Walter has reportedly signed with NXT UK, which would sort of change that landscape. Though
he's one of the biggest guys that's over there wrestling right now. They've got
him and Wolfie.
Right, a lot in the cruiserweights, but really not a whole lot in the heavyweights. You got Muscle Cat.
Yeah, Muscle Cat.
And Wolfgang, and that's about it. And now Walter it changes things a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I think a match 2C would be Walter versus Pete Dunne. That would be a good match, and you can sell a show on that match.
Oh, definitely. I think if Walter isn't the person in the crowd at Takeover Blackpool, then... Well, no, because they've taped everything up until that point.
Yeah,
so he's got to be the person in the crowd at Blackpool, I think.
Yeah.
That's the big sign. The thing that will cement Takeover as a Takeover is you have a big signee in the crowd, and all of the matches will deliver like they have. I don't know about you, but due to the release schedule and just the time of everything, I haven't been able to watch a lot of NXT UK,
Neither have I,
which is really unfortunate. But I hope moving forward we can watch a little bit more. Definitely Takeover, because it's a Takeover,
right?
And it'll probably be in the afternoon because of time changes.
That's true. Yeah.
After this, EC3 gets on the mic and says that Undisputed Era didn't finish the job, and he's going to let them lick their wounds. However, he directly challenges Bobby Fish, which I think is really interesting. He makes a bold proclamation that I'm coming for your head, your knees, and everything in between. Everything.
Why not his ankles?
Well, no,
the head, knees, and everything in between.
You got to get through the boot. You got to chew through the boots.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I mean, that's a pretty broad area to focus on. He's got a lot of choices. And as far as guys to beat, I guess there's no arguing that Bobby Fish is the weakest link amongst the four Undisputed Era because he's the most recent to come back from an injury.
He's definitely he has a huge target on his back.
I guess. But, I think EC3 is trying to take out the Undisputed Era one by one, starting with Bobby Fish, thinking, well, I should probably do a pretty good job against Bobby Fish.
Go after the ankle.
And then kind of work his way up. And Adam Cole being really the head of the snake.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll have to see if EC3 is able to beat the Undisputed Era one by one, which will be really interesting to see because no one's been able to really do that. So...
But it's we're both feeling the same way about that. We got a promo for Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah, that's a name you can chant, which you can. I'm just being facetious.
Dominic
Dijakovic. You have to clap like you're in the USSR.
Poorly.
Yes.
But yeah, we got He's gonna show us. Anyway.
He's tall.
He's a big man.
He's got a kickboxer.
Merry Christmas. Yes, Xeno Hour, that was the joke. We got a bit of a scrum following Candace into the Performance Center where she's making that Gaga-esque statement with her hair. And
Comedy?
No.
Oh.
Lady Gaga.
Oh, my bad.
Because the bangs and the
women's comedy.
Okay. That was pretty good. But the question that seeps through, but she just sort of ignores, is everything okay?
That one guy with his hand out, boy, he really wanted to reply.
Is everything okay?
Everything okay? You can talk to me.
Like genuinely concerned?
I'm safe. I'm an ally. Yeah.
Jamar Schofield, that's a name that I don't recognize. Welcome to the show. We do you get it on TV or do you get it on the WWE network? Because that's what I want to know.
Right, we would have to
that
get
Sky?
us through the network.
Does it air through Sky? Sky gets everything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's obviously a question I'd have to ask somebody local.
Dijakovic has losing partial name on. I don't know. It's Dominic. Well, no, I guess Antonio Cesaro, Dijakovic. Right. No, it's yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
Maybe they'll just go with Kovic. Yeah. Because he was Dijak. Now he can be Kovic.
Jakovic?
I don't know.
Bubby.
Donovic.
Let's talk a little bit about Vanessa Bourne and Mia Yim. Mia Yim coming back home. I was happy that she got a chance to perform in front of her crowd. This was an interesting match. Of course, Vanessa Bourne being the local sex haver of NXT. What's her descriptor?
The woman who had sex once.
No. And the worst is my follow up is no. It started with a V. Vivacious, something like that. Either way. Vision. That's what it was.
Vision.
The Vision. Vanessa Bourne. She got beat up real bad.
She did.
Yeah. She got a foot in the face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What? I'm a little surprised that, and this is no offense to them, but this shows how much stock they're putting into Mia Yim. I was surprised that this was the match. I know that this tour was weird because it was right before Takeover, so they were probably protecting some of the talent that was on the show.
Right.
But I'm happy that we got this match because it
was good. Vanessa, she's a.
Go on.
It's hard. She's a little bit too generic wrestler for me sometimes. You know, what differentiates her from the rest of the women's division? And I have the same problem with Mia Yim. Like, they tout her having multiple accomplishments in, mixed martial arts, including being a second dan in, like, Taekwondo or something like that. And it only shows very rarely. She's got a very wrestler type of style, and occasionally she'll put on an arm bar. I think it's you've got.
They're selling one thing, but that's not as advertised,
right? Or you just need to find a way to incorporate one into the other, or just don't mention it. Just don't mention it at all. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. I think they're still finding what works best for both of them. But I don't. And the eat defeat is the finish. As Mia Yim's,
especially
coup de grace, as it were. I don't
that move never worked in real life.
I've seen it. I've seen it mess up and miss more times.
Yeah, and
Gail Kim had it.
Gail Kim had it. So it only works in video games to me. Like it's the only one where it kind of has any sort of impact.
Or if you can find a way to change it up and go down with it instead of back. Because my chief problem is, from a faraway standpoint, a live wrestling standpoint, the person doing the offensive maneuver falls down.
Yeah.
And to me, that is kind of the antithesis of how you show somebody is in control. So I think if she was able to turn it into a stomp, that would be far superior.
If she had that set up on the top rope and took it all the way down.
Right.
Something like that.
Hopefully don't Sid Vicious it, but yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, good point. Don't do that. Before we go, let's keep talking. War Raiders were, quote, banged up. health-wise, and we're going to be getting updates for them the following weeks. Ciampa got on camera and said that we're going to find out next. He's going to talk to everybody next week, and he expects the NXT universe to follow his lead after he proved that he was the most dangerous SOB in the entire company. Keith Lee versus Lars Sullivan. As we mentioned, Lars Sullivan, very nude. But on top of that, I said it while we were watching it, they're constantly redefining what a Haas match is.
Yeah.
And these boys have
Keith
one.
Lee hits high and low.
Well, he has the speed, but he also knows if I have to take this guy down, I'm not just going to be throwing strikes at him. I have to literally throw my entire body at him.
Right.
And it worked for him most times. And ultimately didn't pay off. Well, the first time he went for the...
Lars caught him with a knee right in the shoulder area. Could have been the neck if he wasn't lucky. That could have put Lee out perfectly if he caught him right in the chin. That would have finished the entire match. But I would say Lars is starting to evolve in a way. Like he has power, but more than that, you see him starting to become more dangerous in that ring. He uses his appendages in a very dangerous manner. I mean,
you likened him to Vader.
Look at him!
I don't remember Vader being that nude.
Throwing those enormous tree
he was
clubbing arms, not even going for a punch, just leveling his entire weight against a man's neck. I can't tell you how dangerous that is.
No, that's huge. No, it's
a punch on the jaw will knock you out. An arm to the neck will give you a stinger that you cannot recover from. That is more dangerous.
Another paralyzer.
Right. Yeah.
Not to turn it into a bit of a comedic bit, but yeah. Lars is a different kind of dangerous in the ring because he knew exactly what Keith was bringing to the match and went, I don't care.
Yeah. I don't think Keith...
he just kept getting up.
Keith Lee was not ready... strike for Lars.
No.
Because when Keith had his moment to shine, his strikes were real short.
Yeah.
Real short. But Lars
reaches
reaches all the way back and just follows through. You got to really tuck your chin or your whole head's just going to come off.
Yeah. And we know, we know that Lars is going to be moving up to the main roster.
Yep.
We don't know where. We've had promos showing on Raw and SmackDown, so we don't know exactly where he's going to pop up. Is this the end of him? Time will tell. I think we have one more week of travel tapings, and then they're taping tonight, so no spoilers. But sorry to bore you, but we're...
Screw you.
No, I did that to everybody. But if he shows up within the next couple of weeks, maybe he rounds out the year. Maybe he shows up. You know what? Maybe he shows up at the Royal Rumble because that keeps it ambiguous as to which brand he belongs to.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to win it, but he shows up, maybe eliminates a couple of the big monsters.
Who's he with?
Yeah.
And he just comes in, starts swinging on everybody like a psychopath. Yeah.
Because that was a great debut for Rusev, and he got the Kofi moment when he caught him and put him on the barricade, and then Kofi made the ridiculous jump.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe there's a couple more weeks of Lars and Keith. I would love to see them go at it again, and it seems like we'll probably have an opportunity. Oh, dude. Oh, now I'm just looking past and thinking like, oh, Keith Lee on SmackDown, like with all of those people.
Yeah, no, that could be fun.
Yeah, Keith Lee and Rey Mysterio. Anyway, that
would be a
metal
really boss team right there.
I just mean against each other, but yeah, it would.
No, I want to see them tag team.
Hell yeah!
Holy crap!
Oh boy! All right. Well, we're gonna. Oh boy! I lasted the whole show without going into a fit, but we're gonna get out of here. We will be back next week. How many of us will be here? I don't know. But until then, Hobo, where can the folks find you?
Find me on the Twitter and the Instagrams at Baines Destroy. Upcoming this month, we have Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on the 9th. It's the final taping of the year, and I think it's the milestone event. Yeah, I think it's milestone.
It's milestone.
And Wrestling Pro Wrestling will be on the 12th. That's a Wednesday.
That was the wrong
thing. Bar downtown. Can't remember what the name of the bar is because it's a number. It's the address. Get it. I'll get it to you. Just follow me on the social at Baines Destroy.
Oh, it happened. We hit the alarm.
No!
Follow Bill Handstock at Sundown Motel. I just put I don't know why the WrestlePros is in my head, but twitter.com/TheWrestlePros.
It's new. That's interesting. I haven't heard of that before.
No, me either. I'm at Mark B. Donica. But also, tpublic.com/NXTeam. Like right now, for like the next week or so, they're doing a whole bunch of Black Friday deals. It supports us directly, and we really, really appreciate the business. We've got I'm a Kathy Kelly guy. We've got our New Day shirt. We've got Boxcar Club. Yep. We've got Wrestling Professional. That's where the Wrestle Pros came from. Is that Wrestling Professional shirt that we have? But that'll do it for us here at AfterBuzz TV Wrestling and Sports. We will see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.